Bro, this guy is 19 and he's crossing the Pacific Ocean alone by himself at 19. I mean, he's there during the daytime, the nighttime, the daytime, and the nighttime again in the water by himself, man, in this little boat. 19 years old, bro. This is crazy.
About 40 miles into the trip. I think it's gone really good so far. I am not feeling seasick to the slightest. I'm not even really feeling nervous anymore. Not compared to before I left. I was feeling pretty nervous then. But
bro,
yeah,
you got my respect for sure.
It's enjoyable actually at this point. Conditions have been really good. It's been blowing maybe 15, but from the northeast, so I'm actually headed downwind basically to go south, which doesn't usually happen here. So I'm happy with that. Definitely happy with that. But tonight it might get kind of sporty. The Ali Nui Haha channel is coming up, and that's usually double the forecast or so from what I've heard.
He just left Hawaii. He's headed across the Pacific, man. Like,
it is 12:16 of the first night out here.
Yo, this is just crazy to me, bro.
Probably 30 minutes of sleep total, if even that. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to sleep when the boom is just kind of slapping back and forth from the low wind. But I am able to sleep, and I still don't feel sick. So
just hearing all the water and knowing, like, bro, you can't see nothing. That's the thing, like, when you out here, bro, you can't see nothing. You can't see nothing.
I decided to start the engine and motor for a little bit.
That's maybe the moon.
I'm pretty close to the channel, I think, but at the speed I was going, it would have taken me a long time. It's also kind of fun to test out my new autopilot. The information displayed here is gathered from my satellite tracker and shows how many days I've completed, nautical miles traveled since last entry, nautical miles traveled total, and coordinates. It won't always perfectly line up with the footage, but it is always based on the same day.
I'm pretty sure the mornings is amazing. The mornings is beautiful.
2:30 last night, and it's been pretty decent since. I'm mostly in the channel now, and I'm making good speed, 5-6 knots. I'll be in the channel for maybe 6 hours. Not bad out here at all. Not nearly as bad as I thought it would be.
No Wi-Fi, none of that.
And I'll be in the protection of leeward Big Island and hopefully try to get some more sleep and make an actual meal. I just got my first boat pet up on the bow, my booby, named Dennis. He's pooping everywhere. That I don't really appreciate too much.
Bro, this is like, I feel like the camera's not doing justice, bro. Like, you're really out in the middle of the water.
One of the challenges of a small boat like mine is the severe limit on water I could bring. So I left Hawaii with about 40 gallons. That leaves 1 per day to use safely. That's only to drink, nothing else pretty much. And I had to filter the tank water with a backpacking filter to make it clean enough to drink. Thought I was gonna get lucky, but looks like I'm gonna be stuck in the wind shadow. It's coming down quite a bit, really fast.
It's raining.
But maybe it was just a squall. We'll see.
Bro, I think if you have a bad mental, you can easily like lose your mind out here for sure. Like, I would not want to.
It seems like things are starting to
smoke and be out here at all in the middle of the ocean.
Word.
I would not want to, bro.
I've got wind.
I would not want to smoke any weed out here whatsoever, man. I wouldn't want to smoke, period, bro.
Now, maybe about
12,
15 knots.
Paranoid, bro.
I'm going 5 to 6 knots, and the seas are relatively chilled out compared to what it was earlier. And yeah, hopefully these are the actual trade winds, because if they are, then I'll just ride this all the way to the equator.
Once again, the sunsets, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, and it'll take me 22 days or so from here, which is 22 times my next biggest sailing trip.
22 days
today.
22 days, man.
Bad site A, flight list number 28007.13 has been reported missing. All mariners are advised to transit with caution and report all sightings to the Coast Guard.
They reported a missing buoy or light tower or something floating around pretty much where I am right now.
Where
so
you are.
Hopefully I don't bonk that. That would be a unique way to end this journey early. But other than that, it should be all good.
I wonder if at night, can you see a little bit?
Dennis the bird got scared of the dark.
Because you know how your eyes adjust to the nighttime, and then you also know how the moon might be out.
I don't remember much from last night, which means I slept a lot, which I think is a good thing, even though maybe a little bit irresponsible. But honestly, I think the risk of sleep deprivation is worse than the risk of getting smoked by a ship out here, because there's really nothing out here.
Oh, you gotta look out for the ships and whatnot.
I just passed the 200-mile mark from Wahoo. So from this point on, the #1 goal is just to make as much easting progress as I possibly can, so that when I make it to the southeasterly trades, I'll have enough progress to not have to tack back and forth once I make it closer to French Polynesia. Dennis has a friend. I'll name him
water for
F-22 Booby. Dennis doesn't like him very much.
Look at that bird.
Trying to bite him. Well, I found my first leak. It's not a ton of water, but it's enough that I want to fix it. I'm not sure where it's coming from yet. I noticed it a tiny bit earlier, but it wasn't this much. Hopefully it's not coming from the Seacock. That would be not awesome, but absolutely. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I just had my first guard alarm go off on the AIS. They're gonna be really close, like within a mile, or less than a mile. So I'm gonna call them on the radio and ask them to bear off, because I don't want to move. I just called that boat on the radio and they were happy to move out of the way, but we would have came within like a 1/10 of a mile, which is pretty close. It's good to know the AIS is working properly.
Just sailing away.
Early in the trip, I realized that unless I was super sleep deprived, I wasn't able to sleep during the day no matter how hard I tried, which made things quite a bit more difficult.
It don't even look like it's going the way that it's pointing.
I've been making pretty decent progress today.
Oh, okay.
This morning was a little frustrating because I was pointed as close as I could into the wind, but still wasn't making 180 degrees south, which even then is not enough to make it to Tahiti. I was going like 190, which was super irritating. But I think the wind normalized a little bit the further I got away from the Big Island, south point of the Big Island, and I've been playing around with the sail trim more. I think part of the problem is that I'm so used to sailing around Hawaii with second reef furled jib that I was kind of nervous to use that much sail out here, but I've been doing way better since I put more sail out and focus more on the sail trim.
Shout out to this kid, man.
So last night was going pretty good. I was making really good easting progress, but the sea state picked up so much that I had to bear off. I'm still headed at like 165 and I'm going pretty fast, like 6 knots, but the sea state's just pretty messy, not very enjoyable. Lots of big slams, and it sounds like a gunshot going off when the boat lands back in the water, and I hadn't slept like 1 minute because I was out there just watching, making sure I don't get hit by squalls or anything. I also got a good amount of water coming into the cabin from, I think it's a leaking stanchion base, which it's not dangerous, it's just super annoying, and it's probably going to cause some water damage.
It seems like a vibe if you got like maybe 1 or 2 people with you that you can vibe with, take turns sleeping.
On day 4, I had a pretty strong realization that I was out at sea alone and that if I needed help, nobody was out there to help me. The wind gusts up in the 30s didn't help with.
Day 4, so he has about 18 more days to go. And he said day 4 he got that realization, and you got 18. There's no turning around, there's no nothing. You got 18 more days going straight this way. You have to really have your mental health in check to be out here by yourself in the water, because I can imagine you can definitely if your mental health is not in check, bro, you can make so many bad decisions, and just one bad thought lead to another bad thought, and just run through your mind all day. Like, it can be bad for sure. And then, can you even call people while you're out here? Besides that radio, I know I'm talking about like people that you might be familiar with. Can you just make a phone call? You probably can't, right? You can't.
With that and either the sleep deprivation, but that feeling went away pretty quickly.
That might be an obvious answer, like no, you can't, but you never know. Like, it's
the
possible.
sea state has calmed out a little bit since last night. It's still pretty choppy, but I'm making really good progress, 5-6 knots. So hopefully that lasts. And I'm kind of struggling to make enough power to just run the AIS and charge my phone and electronics and stuff. There's not a single speck of blue in the sky right now. It's just clouds. So
He real relaxed, which is good. He's relaxed, calm, cool, collected. That's why I was bringing up marijuana earlier. Like, imagine having some marijuana in your system, and then on top of that, you might get a little paranoid. That is a recipe for disaster, absolutely.
More close to normal than I was this morning. I had my little hatch open for like a couple minutes. And stupid wave, first of the day that came here, my bed is absolutely soaked. My pillow is absolutely soaked. Man. So that's awesome. I guess I'll be sleeping on a sleeping bag from now on, but at least I put duct tape over there to stop water from coming in, because that could have fried my panel. Yeah, peak luxury on Sailing Vessel Hooligan right now.
That sucks. That sucks.
No matter how well you tie something down, it always seems to come undone when you're sailing. So on day 5, I had to go onto the deck and tie down all the water jugs a little bit harder. I like to use zip ties so that you don't have to untie them and retie them every time. You can just cinch them down a little bit.
Zip ties are a game changer, man. Lifesaver. Whoever designed them, salute, kudos.
So I think the conditions might be getting a little bit more organized. This morning wasn't too bad, and I actually slept for most of the night, which isn't super responsible. I was planning on waking up every 20 minutes to check for squalls, but that didn't happen, and I slept a lot, but I feel a lot better, so there were no squalls, and I guess it was a good call in the long run.
So that's a real challenge, it seems like, getting that sleep and then balancing sleep and also being aware of where you at, making sure no squalls is. I don't know what a squall is. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that he's saying I'm not gonna be able to comprehend.
So it is day 4
because I don't know yet.
Done 450 miles from the starting point of Oahu. Right now I'm just enjoying my second.
But using context clues, I'm gonna assume a squall is like another ship or another boat.
Meal of the whole trip. It's one of these freeze-dried adventure meal mountain of Oahu. Right now I'm just enjoying my second meal of the whole trip. It's one of these freeze-dried adventure meal mountain house things, but it's actually pretty good for being freeze-dried. The wind is a little light right now to make good easting, but I think it should clock back around to northeast tomorrow or later today. Today is just pretty much east, so I can't really make easting progress, but yeah, it'll switch around back and forth like this probably until I make it there. I'm just gonna start sleeping outside during the night. I think I'm causing a bad habit from going inside and just crashing for 4 hours at a time at the night, because that's when it's easiest for me to sleep, but
there's risks of hitting squalls and having too much sail out and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna
squall. Let me do some research real quick. What is a squall? Let me see something real quick, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and darken that up just because. What is a squall? All right, let's figure this out. What is a squall? I just want to just at least see what is a squall. We're gonna figure this out. What is a squall? So a squall is a sudden wind speed increase of 8 meters per second. Okay, I see how that can be bad. I see how that can be bad. Okay. Okay.
I sleep in the cockpit on this little West Marine cushion I have at night. I kind of actually enjoy the nights. It's kind of a cool experience. It's better than just being inside during the day in the sun. That's not enjoyable. It's super hot. Can't get any sleep because I'm just sweating. And my bed's completely soaked.
Still wet.
That happened again today. Even with the hatch closed,
Really?
Wave just hit the boat in a strange way and it got a lot of water inside, but it's all good. I put duct tape on my panel.
Bro, honestly, he's good at handling, he's good at managing stress. He's good at managing stress because that can be detrimental for some people. The bed that you're supposed to sleep in is wet. You can't even sleep there. Now you really, comfortability is not really even, like that's really a luxury out here. So you don't even have that. So that can be detrimental too.
A day after I left Hawaii, and that was probably one of my brighter ideas of this trip, because it would have been toast by now. But yeah, things aren't actually going too bad. Hooligan calling vessel silage. We are on a direct collision course on the AIS. There's a fishing boat or something on AIS on a pretty much direct collision course. I'm trying to call on the radio. I've been yelling at him for like 15 minutes trying to get him an answer. They're gonna come really close and I don't know if I should bear off or try to motor into the wind or what, because these guys aren't answering. It's a freaking sailboat. What are the chances I see a sailboat this close out here? Well, anyways, if anyone knows the sailboat captain of Silage, tell him he's an idiot. It's too bad they didn't answer on the radio, because that would have been a fun chat. See where they're.
And that's another thing too. Like you out here on this in the ocean and whatnot. I know I seen the movies. You know, what's that movie where you had them? I want to say Somalian pirates go on that ship and hijack the ship. Like he out here solo. That might be a problem too. Like these pirates might be out here in the water.
Going and where they came from. They probably came from French Polynesia or Christmas Island. But yeah, just keep your radio on. Come on. But. Yeah,
typical.
I slept decent last night. The cockpit was getting absolutely soaked, but this new foul weather gear works as it should.
People not being considerate, that's typical.
Turning on the engine and motoring upwind closer than I can go just by sail. So if I didn't do that and I didn't adjust the main sheet to be closer hauled, we would have been, I won't say we would have hit because I don't know that, but we would have been very, very, very close.
Oh, he's going. Got you.
I had great conditions this day and most of the next, but that changed in the evening pretty quickly.
Oh man, roller coaster of life right here.
Absolutely just messed up now.
Good to bad.
I got a wave. This was closed. All this was closed. The towel wasn't on there, but a wave came over the entire front of the boat. And like somehow managed to make its way into here. I got a couple of gallons of water into the bed. So that's unusable for the rest of the trip.
Man, the water is just attacking this bed. It does not want you to get any rest in this bed right here, man. The water is just against this bed.
I got water here. I got water all over here. This is freaking messed up. It's northeast, so I don't think it's a storm. And I don't see a bunch of clouds or anything. And you can see the cabin is just a freaking disaster. But
yes.
I don't know. Maybe I'll put another reef in the main or heave 2 tonight, because that was freaking huge, like twice as big as anything I've seen. And I'm looking outside and they're like 10, 12, 15 feet on the big ones. It's nuts. But
yeah, he talking
I'll figure it out.
He talking in sail language right now. he loses me with some of the things he's saying.
So today I have completed my first week of the passage. So I think I'm about 765 miles from Hawaii now.
About what, 15?
Last few days have been pretty hectic. Yesterday the seas picked up to the biggest I've ever seen by far. They were breaking over the boat. I asked my person that's doing the weather outing for me why that was happening, and she said it's because there's a big current that flows northwest at that area, so that was causing huge waves, and it was also blowing maybe 25, 30, so that was an uncomfortable night, and I'm pretty tired. This morning I was just checking my position, and my phone, I think it's broken. It was making weird green colors and flashing and all sorts of stuff, so I dipped it in some isopropyl alcohol, and I'm soaking it in rice, and I'm hoping it works, but if it doesn't, which I don't think it will, then I'm gonna have no satellite communication for the rest of the trip, which isn't ideal, but you know, maybe it's good for me to fully ditch the phone for
okay, so
for
you do still have,
I noticed that
you can use your
these
phone.
Stupid hatch ends, like there and there, they don't actually seal. I knew about that one, I just didn't care because that's the
you need to go on ahead and send this video to whoever makes these boats. Leave a review, update, we need to fix this, fix that on this boat.
Water doesn't flow there, but this one I thought sealed against it. It does not. Water just comes right through there when a wave comes over. I remember on this evening the conditions got way better than they were earlier in the trip, but it was colder, and I'd find myself at night wearing 4 or 5 layers of coats and clothing outside when I tried to sleep. Losing my phone changed the trip in a pretty big way. I had no communication, no weather, no music, no audio books, no movies or anything, so it made the experience much more genuine, I think.
I thought it was already like that. I didn't know you had your phone out here like that. I mean, I figured you did, but I don't know. I kind of thought you didn't.
So no more sat phone, no more weather, no more music, no more movies, no more audiobooks.
It's really settling in now.
But who knows? Maybe that's a good thing. Not bad conditions right now. I'm making really good easting progress. It's definitely not comfortable, but whatever. It's not as bad as before, that's for sure. This evening I saw something go up behind me that looked similar to a flare or a plane, so I ran downstairs to get my camera, and by the time I got back outside, it was gone. I still to this day don't know what that was, and I don't think I ever will.
Day 10, what, about 12 more days, right? So he was going to Hawaii. I misstated that earlier. I thought he was
I just had my
Hawaii.
first real pretty big squall. It came in fast. I didn't really see it coming until maybe a couple minutes before, and it started blowing 15, 20 above the normal wind speed. So it was probably blowing 30.
So squalls is detrimental for the sailors.
Hanging out. Yeah, today's been the first day of actually enjoyable sailing in a while. Before it was just kind of a beat, and I wasn't having much fun. It was just kind of miserable and a big slog. But today has been slightly better, and I think the sea state's calming down quite a bit because I'm getting closer to the equator, and yeah, pretty soon it should be calm. The chances of that being my first squall of the trip were extremely low. I should have had way more of the northern hemisphere, but I didn't, and in that way I was very lucky.
I know that has to be the best feeling, signs of land.
There's the squall that just got me.
Day 11. Bro, this is like it's kind of a scary image.
Last night I had quite a few squalls.
Like, cause I know when I was out there on the road, sometimes just the weather being the way it was, and then driving on certain roads and whatnot, it was pretty dangerous. So I can imagine being out here in the middle of the water, and then the weather and the sky looking the way that it does, and then these squalls, seems like they probably took a lot of people's lives and whatnot. That can be very dangerous too. It's like another level of danger right here, man.
So last night I had quite a few squalls, maybe
No
3 or 4. none of them were as bad as the first one. Looks like I'm coming into a big one right
You notice
now.
how the first one is the one he said he had the most.
Tails read.
Right after, he felt like he was having the most
I am
fun
in the
though.
doldrums now, so that explains it. I don't know if I'm seeing things or if I'm just tired, but this morning I woke up and I was sure that my wind indicator up there was totally broken, like bent and messed up. It's not. It's perfectly fine. So hopefully that was a dream. Maybe I'm going crazy. Who knows?
Sleep deprivation can lead to hallucinations. I know sometimes I'll be hallucinating, bro, when I don't get my sleep.
Thanks for watching the first 11 days of my Pacific crossing. I had too much footage to fit
look
it
at the
all in one
dolphin.
video, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss part 2. And also follow me on Instagram if you want, at garrett.tartar.
Man, shout out Garrett Tartar. Tartar is a funny last name. Tartar sauce, but shout out Garrett Tartar. This is an interesting video. If you see this video, man, respect to you. This was definitely impressive. I'm pretty sure I could see myself doing this, but first I will have to learn everything that there is to know about selling. Well, not everything, but you know, probably get out there and sell with some people, with some experts and whatnot. Get the hang of these things, learn everything just to at least be on your own, and then do smaller distances, go from this place to this place, get comfortable out here on the water, maybe go through a couple squalls and whatnot, get put in certain situations to see what you would do, and then potentially do something like this. But big kudos to you though. Going across the whole Pacific by yourself takes definitely, you have to be able to manage being able to deal with sleep deprivation. I'm pretty sure that you was dealing with that. As we could see, you was dealing with that. And then dealing with stress as well, man. Like I'm pretty sure it can be stressful out here. And then another thing, mental health for sure. That's another challenge out here. So kudos to Garrett Tartar. I'm out of here. Let's go. Let's get it.